In question number 9 on the review, we need to solve this equation. Notice that we want to solve for x. Fortunately, there's only one x in the problem, so that makes life not too terrible. However, that x is trapped inside with lots of stuff on the same side of the equation as that. So we just kind of need to work our way out. Before we can get x out of the square root, we need to get rid of all of these other things that are outside of the radical first. Using that idea of doing the thing that's the farthest away first, we first want to get rid of this 7 from each side of the equation. Here, the 7 minus 7 is gone. That's going to leave me with negative 8 times the square root of 2x minus 1. And on the right, negative 17 minus 7 will give me a negative 24. Now, again, still I want to get the x out. It's trapped in the square root, but this negative 8 is even farther out. Right now it's being times by the square root, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 8 to get rid of that on this side of the equation. That will leave me with the square root of 2x minus 1, and on this side, negative 24 divided by negative 8 gives me a positive 3. Okay, I still want to get the x by itself. The 1 and the 2 are inside the square root, so the square root is the farthest thing away. To get rid of a square root, I'm going to have to square both sides of the equation. The square and the square root undo each other and leave me just with what was inside, so in this case that's 2x minus 1. And on the right, I do 3 squared, which is 9. Notice at this point, because I squared both sides of the equation, there's a possibility that I may have introduced an extra answer. So don't forget, we're going to have to, when we finish this, we've got to check to see if that our answer actually will work in the original problem. But at this point, we're just still plugging along. We just need to finish getting that x alone. Times 2 and minus 1, the minus 1 is the weaker part farther down the PEMDAS line, so we have 2x equals 10, and then we wrap up by dividing by 2 to get rid of the times 2 there, and we end up with x equals 5 as a potential solution. But now, of course, we want to check. To check, always go back to the very original problem. So the original problem was 7 minus 8 times the square root of 2 times x, which we just tried to figure out to be 5, minus 1, and we want to see, is that equal to negative 17? So we just want to evaluate it. Notice here 2 times 5 is 10, 10 minus 1 is 9, so then we have the square root of 9, which is just 3. And so now we have 7 minus 8 times 3. We do the multiplication next, and we get 7 minus 24, which is negative 17, which is equal to negative 17. That does work, which means x minus 5 is actually a valid solution for this equation.